This is the Abarth 600e. It's, loud. But underneath all the loudness, it's just a Fiat 600, which is basically a Fiat 500 but fatter so that you can fit stuff into it. Then Abarth got its hands on it and turned it into this thing. Now you might know this already, but Abarth is a company that makes racing cars out of Fiats. So the idea of this car is, it's canny practical, but it's also canny fast, and it's canny mint to drive. Oh, and it's canny electric. Fully electric, in fact. So the question is, let's find out. As a day-to-day car, this is... Okay, we'll come back to that. First though, details. It's a pretty quick electric vehicle because it has this many horsepower, but its battery isn't that big, which means you'll never crack 200 miles on a charge, and that's quite rubbish, to be honest. And a basic one costs 37 grand, but there's a limited edition version called Scorpionissima, which is Italian, obviously, for very scorpion. The very Scorpion version is limited to 1,949 copies exactly because that's the year Abarth was born. And it has a lot more stuff. Some of it useful, like more power and more safety and more convenience and more navigation. And some of it less useful, like more purple colour and more daft body kit and stupid stickers. Embarrassing that, mind the Scorpion. That's not the sort of advice that I need. If you're going to put a pithy phrase onto a car, you can do better than mind the Scorpion, can't you? Imagine being covered in pictures and words and stuff and all being topped in bright yellow. Imagine how embarrassing that would be. Yeah. But Abarth has been quite clever because it's kept the very Scorpion model below £40,000, which means it doesn't attract the luxury car tax in the UK. And that'll save you a few £100 every year. And you can't even option it past 40 grand. Well played, Abarth. It's quite practical too because it's tall and a hatchback and has just about enough room in the back for 2 humans. And it has a decent sized rear hole. See? But the 600e is probably not quite big enough to be your main family car. To be honest, whether you'd want it to be your main family car, even if it was, is the main thing to think about. The problem with this thing is that they've gone all in on trying to make it drive as interestingly as possible. It's mint at that. You feel everything that's happening and you get that instant response from the accelerator. Part of the fun is feeling the tyres like struggling a bit, but then knowing that you can feel how to bring it back round. Look at me making myself sound like a good driver. It just feels a bit mental in the best possible way. A small crossover that's quite tall like this should not feel this compact and this good to drive, right? It should not feel this tight. It's amazing. The steering feels... man. It's got one of the best feeling steering racks that I've driven for ages. The problem is the suspension. It is absolutely rock hard. Going to the drive-thru in this feels like going to the drive-thru in Bedrock. But it's not as bad as the sound that the car makes. Why isn't it making a sound? There it is, right. Listen to this. So, I wanted to hate it, but actually, it's pretty good. And it's not necessarily the sound itself that's good. It's not that it's making a really convincing impression of a big engine inside the cabin and outside, weirdly. There's a speaker on the back of it that lets other people hear your electric car making a fake engine noise. It is more just the fact that it is making a sound. I like it on a conceptual level rather than an actual one. Because in an electric car, no sound equals no drama. You see, a car that looks like this and is fast like this, it needs to feel dramatic as well as look it. I'm driving a Polestar at the minute and it's really, really fast, but it's so quiet that there's no drama. Quite like the fact that they've given this drama. Speaking of, it's all just a bit much in it, but there are some advantages to it all. Mainly, you'll be so bamboozled by all the nonsense that you won't notice how poor the interior mostly feels. It's like all of it has been moulded from the same block of bumper-grade black plastic. But hey, that might not bother you. And actually, a lot of the sillier stuff is specific to the very Scorpion version, like the seats. They're racing seats. In the best way, when you're on a road like this, doing stuff like this, but in the worst way, when you're just having a normal day, just going to work, they really squeeze you. They squeeze your thighs, they squeeze your chest. Maybe I'm just wide. But they've also got this horrible spine bit that like just digs into your back. It's minging. Having said that, the driving position, mint. You kind of feel low into the car and you've got plenty of adjustment on the wheel. You can bring the wheel close to you and stuff. And because it's a crossover and it's a bit taller, the visibility is really good and that actually helps. You can really see the end of the bonnet. And on this sort of road, when you're just driving with a capital D, the ride quality doesn't actually feel that bad because you're expecting it. It's just like day to day when it sucks. I really wish they'd given it adaptable suspension so you could properly soften it up. Then it would be mint. But back to the silly interior, you can avoid a lot of it and get some comfier front seats and save yourself a few grand by just getting a basic Abarth 600e. Either way though, and sadly, the touchscreen sucks. I'll show you. Here's me trying to figure out how to turn the engine sound thingy on. Let's dig into these menus, find it. Hang on, is it drive mode? Track. Yeah, there's a lot of that sort of thing, digging into menus and stuff. But loads of cars are like that now, right? My view on dashboards is the same as Cinderella's after a couple of years of marriage, when it turns out that Prince Charming was a narcissistic arsehole after all. Bring back buttons. Yeah, it's probably time to bring this to a close now, right? So what could you get for your roughly 40 grand that is roughly similar to this thing but is not this thing? Much more practical, higher quality, cheaper, ridiculously fast. Too fast, to be honest. Also much more practical, also higher quality, but more expensive, and also stupid name. Also stupid name, but the interior is ace. Man, sorry. So then, does the Abarth 600e suck? No. I just love that something this stupid actually exists, because how many small SUV crossover type things exist that aren't really boring? Having said that, as a day-to-day car, and as you've already probably gathered if you've got this far, it does suck.
Can't see, man!
I do hate myself for saying this, but the 600e is genuinely go-kartish. Thing is, have you ever been go-karting? It's fun, right? But you wouldn't want to do the shopping in one. So there you go, done. Please like and subscribe. No, please do, it really helps. And comment as well. In fact, if you could just put "we're doing great" underneath this, then I'll know you liked it. And I'll reply. Thanks for watching, you're doing great.